Looking for the edge? Welcome to Tea Time to Overtime. From the first tee to the final whistle, we're serving up game day insights, expert analysis, and can't miss betting picks. Whether you're riding the hot hand, chasing the underdog, or just here for the love of the game, we've got you covered. Like, subscribe, and let's hit the action. This is Tea Time to Overtime. The game starts now. Going to start off with the NFL here. We have Aaron Rodgers as a Steeler. But what does that mean for the Pittsburgh Steelers? $13.6 million for one season from a quarterback who has made a name for himself, but right now he is very much following in the path of Brett Favre, his predecessor, and it makes you wonder, since Brett Favre went to the Jets, went to another team after that, after leaving the Packers, ended up going to a Super Bowl with the Minnesota Vikings. Are we going to see a repeat with Aaron Rodgers? Don't know. Honestly, I really don't see it, especially the fact that he has yet to move the needle in the odds. Might be because he hasn't been actually named the number one, the starting quarterback yet. But, I mean, literally, since the sighting over almost a week ago, odds have continued to stay the same. So, he has definite improvement with to the depth chart, to the roster. But right now, he's just learning the system. He's learning the plays, the motions, the audibles, talking with the coaches. But what does this mean down the future? And I think we'll see. Not sure if Aaron Rodgers is truly a Mike Tomlin type quarterback, but like I said, it's going to be interesting. It's going to play there. Obviously, the Steelers still have to go through the Bengals and the Ravens, but it does give them a little extra pizzazz. But let me know what you all think of this $13.6 million one season contract. Do you all think it's going to be worth it to help maybe buff up the rookies and and everybody else there, especially considering he's not practicing as the number one. He's I don't know if he's quite getting the reps in with the starting wide receivers, like if anybody's taking extra time. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting, as it was always going to be interesting. But we're going to stay in the AFC, pretty much all topic for the NFL this week. So next up, we have the Raiders backfield. Now, everyone might be wondering why this might be a nightmare for fantasy owners. Not just fantasy owners, but this is also going to play a huge role in all lines moving forward, because this is Pete Carroll. Since Pete Carroll's time with the Seattle Seahawks and Marshawn Lynch, he has done a running back by committee type style. And absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when it's all said and done, you're letting the running backs, or so we're claiming right now, you're letting the running backs decide who plays. So between RB1 and RB2, our rookie Genty, and former Dolphins running back Mostert, they have similar styles. They're both physical. They can both catch the ball really, really good. At least that's what Genty is kind of coming out of in training camp. So I can kind of foresee this going a couple different ways. Absolutely, it's probably going to be by committee. Whoever has the hot hand is going to take it. That's why it's a nightmare for fantasy football owners. And that's also why it's going to be a nightmare for the Lions, is because if both of them are just doing okay and one isn't really breaking out, like what are they going to do? And depending upon the wide receiver injuries, lineup shifts, playing good, playing bad, because again, both of them are actually pretty good receivers. This can make for some great football either which way if this last prediction actually happens. So again, barring any wide receiver injuries or a wide receiver playing bad, you could possibly see Genty and Mostert on the field at the same time, one playing wide receiver, the other one playing as the running back. Could definitely come up with some dynamic screens, some play action, wheel routes type with your quick running back already there on a mismatch with a linebacker, or maybe a little less than stellar cornerback. But again, it's going to be fun. I really don't think the Raiders have a prayer. The odds are still saying that as well. But it'll be fun. This is a growing season for the Las Vegas Raiders. Pete Carroll, we know he can do his thing. We know he's a great coach. He has the history. So we'll see how well Vegas can do this year in their rebuilding process. Maybe snag a few other people and some trades or some free agency as the season goes along. But I would still expect the Raiders to finish either third or fourth within their division. And speaking of the AFC division, I've got my picks this week. I've got them right here. I've got them right now. But before we get that, this is what I want to tell you all. For my gambling strategy, when it comes to picking the winners of the division, don't be afraid to predict the unexpected. And a lot of times it is expected. And I'll give you an example here in a moment, because we're talking about injuries, a slump, quarterback controversy, Mr. November, and whether or not he can do it or he can't. That's where the value is early. So let's take it back to one of the teams that I always counted on, was the Dallas Cowboys. It seemed like when November would roll around, that's when they would start really slumping. Whether or not it was the running back injury, it was just the quarterback couldn't quite do it going into the playoffs. Like, again, whatever it might be, it seemed like every time November rolled around, and I'm talking like mid-2000s-ish, that was always when the Cowboys would let everybody else in the division catch up. They would always normally dominate in the early and on of the season, and then all of a sudden, whoever was second, whether or not it was the Eagles or the Giants, it didn't matter. They let the entire division catch up, and it was always a sweat for anybody who put money on the Cowboys, who at that time were always normally heavy favorites at that time. So again, take a look at it. You all know me. I'm a big trend guy. I love watching these things. I love seeing it. There's always something there. So find it, bet it. As we head on in to my picks for the AFC, I have in the South the Houston Texans at plus 110. I think they're going to take the division. I think the Colts will probably be a close second, but that's going to be a nice tight division run. But I got the Texans. In the West, I like the Chargers and Broncos at plus 300, just because the Chiefs are not going to do what they did last year. They are not. They're not going to sit here and go undefeated for almost half the season, and I think that they are actually going to lose a fair number of those close games. So keep an eye at the Chargers and Broncos. The odds that you're getting with them are absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love it. And again, like I said, the Chiefs and their season last year, their record last year, I guess I should say, that could have gone totally different. That division could have been nowhere near what it was for that domination. And the Chargers and Broncos played good last year. They popped in a few great records. So keep an eye on those guys. Again, love one of those two. To do it, if I had to choose one right now, when I was flipping through their schedules looked almost identical. It's going to be a tough one. I honestly think that, the Broncos to win the division, they're going to have to rely on Bo Nix to have a great sophomore season. So I think the Broncos are a little bit more of a wild card. I think I like the Chargers as more of a, solidarity pick. But, at plus 300 would not mind a little money on both if you want, if you wanted to, a little, hedge better. So sorry, and yes, I'm going to leave all that in. But yeah, if you want to hedge your bet on the Chargers and the Broncos, putting some small bets down on that one, absolutely love it, and do not fault anybody for that. Here in the North, because again, schedules, like looking at the schedules, schedules come out. Some teams play this part of the division. Another team plays another part of a division that they get matched up on. So I actually have the Bengals at plus 225. And I'm not picking them just because of the odds. I'm actually picking them to win the NFC North over the Ravens. It's going to be tight. It's going to be super sweaty. Again, I do like the Bengals. I think they're going to pull it off this year, even with all of their contract situation, everything going on right now. I think all that stuff will resolve themselves, and if it doesn't, next man up. Bengals will have a solid team built around them, and I got them picked for the North. In the East, obviously I got the Bills. They're my Super Bowl winners. They're my Super Bowl champions this year. So I do have them winning, and honestly, I don't think it's going to be a competition in the East. Coming from a Patriots fan, it's going to break my heart. I'm going to be cheering hard against the Bills, but I have the Bills as the clear winners at minus 260. Now, we are just a few short months away from the NFL kickoff season. So make sure everybody is following me at LuciferM1989 on Facebook and X, formerly Twitter. I will have my weekend posts. I will have my Sunday posts, my Thursday picks, the whole entire shabam. I'll be picking all of them. But when we are talking here on the podcast, those are my picks. Those are the ones that I feel the most confident about. And those are the ones that I am putting money on towards that season. As we switch gears from the gridiron, we are heading into the NHL. Now, it was hardware time, baby. Who took home all the trophies? And we did have a little bit of history coming in here. Starting out with number one, Connor Hellebuyck, the goalie for the Winnipeg Jets, took home the Hart and Vezina trophy, first goalie to win not only the league MVP but also to the goalie MVP since Carey Price did it back in 2015. Absolutely outstanding, well deserved. Hellebuyck was a huge reason why the Jets also took home the President's Trophy and had the best record in the league. My boy from the Tampa Bay Lightning, Nikita Kucherov, takes the Ted Lindsay Award, voted most outstanding by fellow players. So, congratulations. Congratulations to Nikita Kucherov. Very well deserved vote. Had an absolutely outstanding season, so congratulations once again. We have Alexander Barkov, who wins the Selk, and King Clancy for defensive excellence and leadership, respectively. Barkov was a forward that showed the most outstanding forward forward defenseman. He's tearing it up in the 2-2 tie between in the Stanley Cup, but we'll get to that in a minute, because Cal McCarr was the Norris Trophy winner. Lane Hudson, Calder Trophy. Congratulations. Always a great time to see the Rookie of the Year. And Spencer Caberry, a Jack Adam Award for Coach of the Year. And obviously the Capitals had a great season. Spencer's second year behind the bench, so really showing it up, considering that the Capitals won the Well, had the best record in the East for that one. So Anze Kopitar wins the Lady Binge. And this is a very interesting and very fun one. This is the most gentleman trophy on the ice. Kopitar only had 2 minor penalties all season long, and he put up, I believe it was 67 points for during the season as well. And Ovechkin wins the Mark Messier Leadership Award. So congratulations to everyone who took home all the hardware. Of course, we have the most renowned Covenant hardware to be decided, and it is down to a 3-game series. Yes, we are talking about the Stanley Cup. It is a 2-2 between the Panthers and the Oilers, the rematch from last year's final, I want to remind everybody. Being just the 5th time in NH history we've had a repeat Cup finals. Last time was the Red Wings versus the Penguins back in 08 and 09, and I searched long and hard to figure out what the odds of that happening are. Could not find them. Everybody was on that hype train that the Stanley Cup the Stanley Cup championship was actually taking fold, and it has not disappointed. These teams are just absolute monsters. They have scored over 7 points in every single one of their games. Get to that in a second, even though you all see where I'm going, but don't get too far ahead of me. And Thursday night's game was amazing. Absolutely amazing. We had Panthers, first time in history that a Stanley Cup game where an opponent was up by 3 goals and lost. I wouldn't say the Panthers gave it away. They played great. They looked great. It was 20 seconds left in the game for the Panthers to come in and tie it, and then what a great overtime, just everything. So looking forward to the rest of the series. Again, we're down to a 3-game series here with the Panthers and the Oilers. Again, I'm still calling it. My pick is still the Panthers to win it all. It'll go Game 7. It'll be a sweaty bet, but I think the Panthers will pull it out. And then, of course, my gambling angle for this series is keep going with the over. I do believe Skinner lost his goaltending job, in the playoffs here. So, this might be a little bit different. It might be a little bit difficult for the Panthers as well, as they are now going to have to go and relearn a whole new goalie. And, I'm not sure, how much tape they actually have to watch on the backup for the Oilers. But it's going to be a great series nonetheless. But again, keep hammering on that over. Both teams are highly explosive. So let's see if the overs will continue and the Panthers will take it all. When the NHL season picks back up again in October, please, again, Facebook, X, when you're following me on there, you'll see the picks. You'll see them. Every Saturday I go through the whole slate of games. And, of course, the ones we talk about here on the podcast are the ones where the money is going. So, please follow me, Facebook and X. And while you're at it, you know what? Down here, if you're watching on YouTube, down here I have all of my stuff. So, follow me on Twitch too while you're at it. I don't have that here, but twitch.tv/LuciferM1989. I like to stream video games almost every Thursday at 9 a.m. We have a lot of fun. Come on in. We'll chit chat about anything and everything you want. I don't care. It can be the NFL, it can be the NHL, it can be the PGA, it can be live golf, it can be lacrosse, it can be women's softball. Doesn't matter. We're gonna have some great conversations, and you're gonna see the world's best, most average video game player right here. Again, every Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm LuciferM1989, absolutely everywhere. So, as the ice thaws out, the green grass starts to grow. You guessed it, we're heading into the PGA segment. Wow, that had to have been one of the worst transitions I've probably ever said on this podcast. I'll probably come up with something worse, so it won't be the worst, but that was pretty bad. So, who took home the RBC Canadian Open title, and what does that mean heading into the U.S. Open? You know, a big congratulations goes to Mr. Ryan Fox for winning in a playoff over Sam Burns, a clutch finish, and a great moment heading into Oakmont. Not just because Fox won it, but because we have Mr. Burns, Sam Burns, tearing it up right now at Oakmont. He is in contention. We're going to see if he can keep the momentum going, but we'll get to that in a minute. Because Scotty Scheffler is the outright favorite. When isn't he the outright favorite? So just stop it. But can he stay hot and win the U.S. Open? He is playing the best golf he has. Even compared to last year, and just, whatever, 9 wins is, world number one caliber. Tiger Woods only did what he did last year. So, he is playing absolute great golf. That's per data golf. And, we're in the peak. We're a little more than halfway there to the FedEx Cup. He has won 3 of his last 4 tournaments that he has started in, and he hasn't finished outside the top 10 since March. So, can Oakmont take it away from here? Because we have no idea what kind of Oakmont we're getting. We have a scale of, honestly, 10 to 20. That's how hard Oakmont is. Not 1 to 10, 10 to 20. Hard or nightmare mode. There is no in between when it comes to Oakmont. So, we have some weather rolling through, and the rain is going to soften the course, but that's not going to make it any easier. The rough is brutal. I swear, the rough is like at least yay thick in most every spot there. The greens are still going to be fast, as we saw Thursday morning. And again, even with some of this rain coming through. So, Oakmont, always an absolute monster. U.S. Open, always a fun challenge for our boys in the PGA. And Live Golf, because they play in those majors as well. So we'll see what happens in that battle, but we're not going to touch too much on it. So the final question going into the U.S. Open is, can Rory McIlroy finally find the fairway? So, as we were just saying, the rough is most likely going to be wet. It's already yay thick. It's tough. You have to hit the fairway in a U.S. Open to win it. And Rory McIlroy, big reason why he missed the cut at the RBC was because he missed 50% of the fairways. Like, this is very un-Rory-like. He has been, and we'll get back to it, that player who just absolutely bombs the ball, and it looks like he just went out into the middle of the fairway and just placed it right in the middle of the fairway. So we'll see if Rory's driver can kind of wake up a little bit. I know he's kind of going through some things. He's trying to find a little bit of a new one. But, again, if he can hit the fairways, he'll be in contention on Sunday. If he can't, we might be looking at another missed cut. I hope he makes it. Rory is always a fun guy to watch. He is also one of our tops to win it. Again, like I said, Scotty Scheffler at the start of round 1, he was plus 275 to win it all. You had Bryson DeChambeau and Rory McIlroy at plus 850 to win it all, and John Rahm at plus 1200. So, great start to the round. We're off and going. So round 2 rolls around, and I get it. I get it, Vegas. Scheffler, number 1, comeback kid, having a great season and all. But the fact that he is tied for 49th at plus 3, 7 strokes behind the leader. And don't get me wrong, plus 3 could win the U.S. Open. It's most likely not going to. It'll probably be more like even 1 under, the way Oakmont is playing right now. But to keep Scotty at plus 550 just seems wrong, especially when J.J. Spawn, the leader after the first round, at 4 under is plus 1,400. And JJ's been having a good season. 2 runner-ups this year, one of them being at the Players and losing in a playoff at the Players to Rory McIlroy. You know, he's 25th right now in the world. So, again, he's playing great. Super excited to see him continue on into the U.S. Open, and I wish him all the luck. But that being aside, John Rahm is plus 575. He is 1 under, tied for 6 going into Friday. Brooks Koepka plus 1,100, tied third at -2 going into Sunday. And Colin Morikawa plus 14 under, tied 11th, even par. You have some players right there who are playing some fantastic golf right now. Honestly, the weakest one there is Brooks Koepka. He has not been playing that well on LIV, but this is the majors. He shows up for the majors, so we'll see what he can do here come on Friday and into the weekend. So, as always, if you want to go for it, go for it. Pick that winner, guys. Pick it, stick with it, and make sure the odds are in your favor. But keep an eye on everything. Find the hot golfer. Who's the one that is right there in the mix of things in Sunday playing great? He's hitting greens, he's hitting fairways, because that's, again, it's Oakmont. We need to look for that. But also look for those fun matchups. You know, like if we ever get Brooks Koepka and John Rahm against each other for a Sunday matchup, wouldn't that be fun? LIV Golf versus LIV Golf. And honestly, I'd probably choose John Rahm almost all day long on that one, depending on, you know, Koepka and Rahm are looking in the weekend. But, you know, look for those type of matchups, those the Saturday and Sunday matchups. Find the one that you like, find the one that looks great to you, and you say, hey, let's go with it, let's enjoy it. I really like this golfer, and we're gonna make this happen. But hey guys, that's a wrap on this round of Tee Time to Overtime. From the greens to the ice and every yard in between, we've covered the plays and the odds. Think you've spotted the next big upset or locked in a winning parlay? Let us know. Subscribe, rate, follow for your weekly dose of insights, predictions, and betting tips. And remember, play smart, bet responsibly, and enjoy the game. This is Tee Time to Overtime. See you next time.